We are Sahel from the Washington, D.C. area, but we bring you music of the African diaspora. So what that means is both sides of the Atlantic, on the African continent, as well as the Caribbean, United States, and Brazil. And we're about to perform a Sahel original called Race for Africa. We normally tend to do fusions of music, but this is actually a straight reggae because of its urgency and because of the fact that Africa in this day and age has again become the new final frontier. And more than ever, the resources from the earth as well as its labor are the highest in demand in the world. And we want to make sure that these things are not controlled by the wrong hands. So this is a kind of a alarm call. This is Race for Africa.
Many moons since the mighty Congo first fell born. From the carving of the land to the brainwash far from home. Now it's cold time, diamonds, uranium, so take it with they gone. Still, nobody really knows, but the mother lost her. Brainwash far from home. Fire burning, and now it's cold time. Diamonds, uranium, so take it with they gone. A fire burning, still. but the mother lost her. The wolves are returning, and the mother's milk is sweet. Ain't no stopping the countdown once it started. Don't let history repeat. Yeah. Right can't be slow with it. Don't mess with the eyewitness. No game is a game in this. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody got a fantasy in the race to get to Africa.
So this next song we're going to do is called Father Bamba. This song is a cover as opposed to the Sahel originals we're doing, and this is an original song from Youssou N'Dour, and a very important song in Senegal because not only does it encapsulate a lot of Senegalese culture, particularly Wolof, but not just that, but also when it comes to the religious beliefs as well as the social resistance of Senegal. This particular song, speaking of Serigne Touba, Cheikh Ahmadou Bamba, is a pillar of a song, iconic song for that aspect of Senegalese life. Resistance, faith, and everything that is Senegalese. This is Father Bamba.
Tubaab bi jaxle ba jaxle dafa ni ko Bamba mu ne ko Mbaake mu ne ko ñaane wane doo tooñ sa borom di nga tooñ sa borom waxtu julli jot na sa julliwul waxtu wi di doo tooñ sa borom te boo jullee sunna bi gal di nga ñu tooñ Bamba sanitaire ga géej tubaab ba jaxle. Do you hear me, Father Bamba? Do they hear you, Father Bamba? Do you hear me, Father Bamba? Do they hear you, Father Bamba? They didn't know who you'd become until the word was spread. But now the story of your people can be shouted out loud. Your faith, your soul, and your journey affair between God and the man. Your prayers, our prayers, oh no, they will not be ignored. Do you hear me, Father Bamba? Do they hear you, Father Bamba? Do they hear you, Father Bamba? Do they hear you, Father Bamba?
This next song is a Sahel original called Lady Cadiz. It's called Lady Cadiz, but it is a homage to Cuba and Cuban culture. The reason I wrote this song is because of the influence of Cuban culture on African music. Now, a lot of people know that African rhythms, African traditions are at the basis of Cuban music, but what a lot of people don't know is that throughout 40s, 50s, 60s, our grandparents, our parents, they used to dance to pachanga and to son, and had a great influence on all of sub-Saharan Africa, from Senegal all the way to South Africa. And it was also the first time that Africans saw piano, guitar, and these kind of European instruments used with African rhythms. So the relationship between Cuba and Africa is extremely important as it is from Havana to New Orleans. So with the love of that, and with hearing that since I was a little kid, decided to write this love song to Cuba as a lady. And this one's called Lady Cadiz.
Daughter of the water, passion of the sultans and kings, how you suffer to offer the finer things. I'm just a survivor, riding on the tide and never still. I will sing for your smile, darling, if you will. Oh, and you heard every line. No, I'm not here to waste your time, lady. ¿Dónde estás, lady? I already know your name. Oh, your name is true. I'm with you when they want you to stay the same. You will change it. Let me stay. I already know your name. Seasons and reasons change when they want you to stay the same. The same. Persecuted daughter, Mary Magdalene of their fantasy. How you bloom in the arms of our mother sea. I'm born among the strangers, but for a moment of your time, just a chance to show I love you all my life. Oh, and you've heard every line. No, I'm not here to waste your time. Give me the stay the same. You, every day, let me stay. I already know your name. Seasons and reasons change when they want you to stay the same. Yes, I do, girl.
So this next song is a cover tune from the 80s, from the anti-apartheid movement. This is a cover of Miriam Makeba, a medley that she used to perform, and that she also performed at the Graceland concert. My family, were very affected by that entire movement in the 80s and the fact that Hugh Masekela and Miriam Makeba could tour all around the world except in South Africa. And it shaped a lot of how we grew up and what influenced the way we interpret and perform music. So this one is a homage not only to Miriam Makeba, but now also to Hugh Masekela.
Hindo kasama kwakwe
Ubu chikele mina njalio osio Yalele kuba tu betito kongabo
Iyo
Chikele mina njalio osio Yelele kuba tu betito kongabo
Iyo
O chikele maweni chia Chikele mina njalio osio Yelele kuba tu betito kongabo
Iyo
Thank you, Cleveland. 1, 2, 3, Daby Toure, tapez. So, bonjour, good morning, everybody. My name is Daby Toure, and I'm from Mauritania. My grandfather is from Mali. Then he moved to Mauritania and then to Senegal, where my father born. And then my father went back to Mauritania. So this is the story of my family, a story of an African, West African family. Let's say that, West African. So I raised in Boutilimi, in the desert, in Sahara, in the Sahara. So nothing around, only sand. So you have all the time to hear everything. You have all the time to think. And so this is where I born. And then from there, I started moving. As all Africans, we need to move all the time. We can't stay somewhere like every day, same place. We need to move. It makes us live. And my father did move from Mauritania to France later on. But before that, I had lots of influences from all my neighbors, which were Fulanese, Soninke, Wolof, Bambara. So all those communities I used to live with nearby. I've learned a lot of things from those people and from those cultures. I was alone actually when my father and my mother get separated. And so I had to learn how to survive in the middle of all these community jungle, I would say. Community of jungle, because you gotta speak the language. You got to be focused. When you're 3 years old or 4 years old in Africa, you can imagine when you're inside of a house, big house. We are like 20, 30 child, 40 child, and you have 1 or 2, 3, 4 adults for all of the child. So you got to take care of yourself first. So you got to speak language, you got to defend yourself, and you got to just learn life. It's about learning life. This is where my father sent me. In Joel, south of Mauritania, near the Senegal border, the small village called Joel Gori. This is where I started my first learning of life, because you got to wake up early in the morning and take care of the cow, and then go to bring some wood for women to be able to make the food. And I mean, a lot of things like that. This is how I really started. And at the same time, the music was there. Music was there every day, because each evening we bring out the percussions. Women came out and they start dancing and they start singing, and we play music with them. And this is how my life really started. And then it just growing up like that. And I came to France because my father came to France because he's to join his brothers, the Toure Kondas. And this is how I came in France. And I was so surprised to discover that new life again and the new experimentations of everything. White people, first time for me. Another story began from there. You know, that part of Africa is historically really interesting because we all became slaves. First with the Arabic people. And so they stayed. So in between black people, you have Soninke, Fulanese, Bambara, Khasonke, etc., etc. So all communities have a different way to express their music and have different way to express their rhythm, you know. So it makes it really harder to define any kind of Mauritanian music because it doesn't exist actually. If you look at it closer, what exists is fragment of different kind of style music which inspire each other, of course, because we live one close another. So I think that is the richness of. So when are we coming to something, a block of something? Maybe one day, but we are on that. We are on that process. Africa is still on a process of evolving. We are not like, you had in the United States. You speak the same language. You have a federal government, etc. We don't have that yet, because we still have a lot of culture going on, lots of languages going on, and lots of differences in between us. And and we love that too, because we want to keep our identity. That makes it harder to unite, but it's on the process. I can tell you something. When I was little, I remember going alone and working alone, like in the sand, because it was giving me kind of I was alone. My parents was away, so when I was alone, I was considering having the nature around me was something really deep and really peaceful. And so I could hear any kind of voice at that moment. And I think all those things makes what I'm doing today, because I had a message from a friend of mine who was looking my shows and said, "Can you imagine? You were too small, and you were in Boutimit, in the desert, working, and now you're making tour and you talk with famous people all around the world. It's crazy." I said, "This is music. That's music, That's the voice of music. I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but I know that people would call you. People would come to you because you express yourself by music or by poetry, whatever. But you share something, and that helps a lot. Yeah." That happened because my grandfather left Mali, and at the time the French people was colonized country. That was the French colonies. Then he left Mali for some reason we don't know really, and he came to Casamance. He stayed there because he was making shoes, a cordonnier, on appelle ça, shoes maker. Yeah. And he was looking at skin, So I know that Casamance was really rich about crocodiles, and we have tropical. So he stayed there, and 5 wives, and then all Toure brothers born there. My father also, and then they start spreading all over the rest of Mali, Senegal, Mauritania. My father went to Mauritania. This is how the family spread all over the West Africa. Yeah, that's how they came to West Africa, and how my father started doing music a little bit, and and this is how I came to life. That wasn't easy at all. My father was against it. My father was against it. Everybody was against it. it was really hard for me. Just trying to have a moment to play wasn't possible. And if my father knew it, I get beat. It's easy like that. And no one was protecting you. And I think this is not only me, it's all the young African people. And it can explain also our situation today. Because sometimes you just need to do something. You want it, you feel it, you know it, because it's inside of you. But your parents focus on, you need to go to school, you need to blah, 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 blah. This is jokes, this is not serious, blah, blah, blah. So you spend 20 years like that. And then finally, at the end, your father comes to see you at Bercy with Peter Gabriel and he's crying. I mean, all that energy for this, Yeah. At the same time, some other people would say, yeah, but if it wasn't against you, you would have not maybe. No, that's bullshit. I believe that if you want to do something, if you get people behind you, pushing you and do the best you can to help you doing make your dreams happen or just help you out or try to understand what you mean or what you want to do. We don't have that yet. That was really hard. So the family was difficult with the music, really. And even my uncles, Toure Kunda, when they discovered what I was doing, they went to my father and they said, "You're crazy. He's just a genius. We should take him on the band." And that was making my father craziest again, more crazy, because he just didn't. And more we go, more we on avance dans le temps, and more it became like worse. In Africa, we never talk. You sit over there, your father sit over there. You want to say something to your father, you close your eyes, you do like this, and you talk to him. You ask what you have to ask. I mean, my generation. But he changed. He's not like that anymore now because he had other children. So he'd been in France. He changed a lot. Now he's taking his shot. But on my time, it was really hard to even communicate with my father, looking at it. I can't look at it, which is really sad, I mean, in a way. So that day with Peter Gabriel, when I played in Bercy, and I invited him and he came, he saw the show, he saw me playing in front of 60,000 people alone. And he saw me singing with Peter Gabriel at the end of the show. And when I went back on stage and I was walking to my dressing room, and we crossed. And I saw he was really, really, really feeling bad. And because he doesn't know what to do. He never talks to me like this. We never do that kind of stuff. So he started crying and I had to do that job. I had to take over me and said, okay, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. So I went to him and I took him and I went to the dressing room. That wasn't easy for me, but it was like, okay, so now you understand. Finally. I'm only started now on feeling that I'm starting singing. Only now. I'm starting to feel my voice as a singer. It took me a long time before I feel comfortable with it. Because I wasn't a singer. My cousins were singers. because they're born with the vocal. Some people just had like, they came there, wow, everybody's impressed. But I had to work a lot, and it took me a long time. But I was more guitar player than a singer. So now I'm quite happy to have the possibility to being on stage, play guitar, rhythms, everything, like, and then have one musician or two or three between me. It works. It's really, really a big challenge, and I'm still on it. I'm still on it. You know, what you're saying is so important, because when you drive your own story, when you try to create your own stuff, it makes sense that you can't go through the industry the way it is today. If you have a personal thing, it's really hard to get into something marketing, or, you know, because there is some place, if you get into that place, it's okay, you work. If you're not, world music, when the most of the festivals and world music in France everywhere, they used to listen to my music and like, nice. But that's not really world music. It's a kind of pop. So they hesitate the most of the time programming me. So I'm like, if you don't program, who's going to do that? Who's going to do it? They said, so rock festivals, all these pop festivals, they say, that seems to be more world music than pop music. So I've been on that. I've been like this since many years. Well, they can call it world music. They can call it pop music. To me, it is the same. Popular music, world music is the same, because it's just showing that people loved it. People understand the language. And I can tell you, I sing in Wolof. I never sing in English the most of the time, but people, they're like that. And they look and it seems like they understand. I don't know how. But for some reason, the business don't follow. Yeah. And that's the challenge, what we were saying. I know. That's a big challenge. Africa is the beginning of everything. We know that the first men come from Africa and travel all over the world and make the world what it is now, today. Music come from Africa too. So black people, when they came to the United States, or when they came to Jamaica, when they came to the French islands, they bring their music and they took them in, they created blues, they created all those things. So that influences, if you want to call that world music, you can call that world music already, because rock, jazz, blues, where it's come from, to mix and brass, that's world music already. Yeah. So what the hell are we talking about? Yeah. What happened now is just the process, the progression from rock, from blues, from all that. We just keep going, working as an artist. So I don't belong on a specific community. Right. Some people would ask me, "Oh, is Daby Toure coming tonight?" Yes, cool. Can you ask him to dress traditional African? Why? And some other people would come to me after the show like, "I really love your music, but don't forget your roots. You should play some tam-tam." I had all these remake, you know. It's frustrating for an artist. You never go to say a white man that he's playing a traditional music or what. I don't know. He's just creating. He's a creator. He's creating. He's a songwriter. But me, I'm not a songwriter. I am a songwriter. Like a painter can paint. You never would say to a painter that painter is a world painter. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense. So we're proud to be artists and creators. We're African, and we can create also, and we can have our personal view on anything. We're not only doing traditional music. We have some people who do it gratefully, like, I mean, Salif Keita is a grand, Yusundur is a, you know, we have that. It's okay. But allow us, please, to be also just normal artists. That's what I'm fighting for. So this song is called Woyoyoy. The last album I did. That was in 2015. You see, I take a long time before I release anything.
Mangi wallo wallo wallo, I'm the daily murder. Man sento maoni sama waiteji dina maseda je kumeli Woyoyoy woyoyoy woyoyo woyoyoy woyoyoy woyoyo woyoyoy woyoyoy woyoyo Woyoyoy, woyoyoy, woyoyoy. Gëtëm yaa ngi leer ni weer wi reetaanam day suuxet xol yee. Ma ne saa su ma seerom ba ci koñ gi ku ne ci ñun dina war a gestoo. Woyoyoy, 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 woyoyoy la. Maniko, 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 ma. Keep my waiting, I'll be one. Keep my waiting, la 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 la. Keep my way, I'll be waiting. Manesa makaren bulem baima. Woyoyoy, 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 woyoyoy. Woyoyoy, 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 woyoyoy.
Moljack. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
No decoy.
Beautiful. So what are you going to play for us?
I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm just playing on feeling and just
Go from there.
Just gonna arrive to know what exactly.
Okay.
Fahati Jai Nana Aman Sahalum Jai Nana Woy Fahati Bimadame Fatik Njanja Yo Wo Jai Ngade Yuna Jai ngende yuxuna ndax dugub amatul maam yàlla tawatul maam yàlla tawatul man bépp ñëwatul dugub gi amatul te su dugub gi amatul ñëpp ndaw Ndakaaru xale yi daw ne Njaay gaynde Njaay gaynde oh Njai gaynde Njai Fahati Njai nene wawai Amani Sahalum Njai nene bye boy Fahati Bimane me fatika janja yo boy Jai ngende ay joina Jai ngende yukhuna ndax dugub amatul Maam yàlla tawatul Maam yàlla tawatul mane pépp amatul Dugub gi amatul Su dugub amatul xetaxtu amati Jur gi sakuna Njai gaynde Njai gaynde Njai gaynde wo bamanda Njai she have to beg
Yes, sir.
Right on,
Beautiful, beautiful.
Sarr from Sahad and the Natal Patchwork. So we have a crew in here now, lined up here, ready to play some music. This is a song by Aida Sarr, correct? Accompanied by Jean-Francis Varre on guitar, Jabari Exum on djembe, and Chris Styles Bacon here on beatbox. We're going to see how this works out with the miking, but delighted to have you here. This is fun. Here we go with, what's the name of the song?
It's called Samahol,
Okay.
which means my heart.
All right, let's roll.
Samahol, Samahol, Samahol. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, with you. Fell in love. I wanna give you all that you need, baby. My trust and my love. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, with you. Fell in love. I wanna give you all that you need, baby. My trust and my love. Your love's of my life, your love's of my love. I give you even things you don't know you need. Your love is precious, so life's of my life. I do all I can do so I can be your wife. Every time you call me, I can't help but smile. You sing a smile and I be mesmerized. What love for you is unconditional. Our story's so unconventional, yeah. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, with you. Fell in love. I wanna give you all that you need, baby. My trust and my love. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you, with you. Fell in love. I wanna give you all that you need, baby. Yeah, mom, samahol. Yeah, mom, samahol. Yo, Agman, we've been through a lot. They wanna know you will be my bride. Even though our time to fail, we will be apart. Musulama buy for another girl. Thankful for finding my better half. Well, I must buy for another man. Give me all I need for my number one. You're my baby love, yeah. I'm a bugger depths of my life like yo. My baby, yo, I know. Baby, the bigger side of my soul, yeah, mom, some I'm a bugger depths of my life like yo. My baby, yo, I know. Baby, the bigger side of my soul, yeah, mom, some Buganala, buganala, buganala. Wolunala, wolunala, wolunala. I wanna be the mother to your baby. Baby, the bigger every day, baby. Buganala, buganala, buganala. Wolunala, wolunala, wolunala. I wanna be the mother to your baby. Baby, the bigger every day, baby. Buganala, buganala, buganala. Wolunala, wolunala, wolunala. I wanna be the mother to your baby. Busy the bigger every day, baby. Yeah, mom, samahol. Yeah, mom, samahol. Yeah, yeah. I'm a bugger depths of my life like yo. My baby, yo, I know. Busy the bigger side of my soul. Yeah, mom, samahol. Yeah.
Yo, what? That's beautiful. Thank you so much. That is amazing. You guys, this is quite, I mean, it's an embarrassment of riches right here, really. It's too much, Jean-Francis. You've overdone it.
Nabuchikele mina njaliosio Yele kubatumbetito Awasha Iyo Ashiwo Ashiwo Well, Ashiwo Ashiwo Shiro Namakwe Ashiwo Yele Mama Ashiwo Yele Mama Ashiwo helele, oh, helele, she hop, hop, she hop, helele, she hop, nama pe, she hop, helele, mama, she hop, helele, babe, she hop, she hop, helele, mama, she hop, helele, hop, helele, she hop, hop, she hop, helele, hop, helele, she hop, hop, she hop, helele.
And it's about that time.